Good evening. Tonight, our top story is in Raleigh County, where Natalie Cochran appeared in court to be arraigned for the first-degree murder of her late husband. She's accused of poisoning him, and she pled not guilty.
The court calls the case of State of West Virginia versus Natalie Cochran. Natalie Cochran, how do you plead to this charge of first-degree murder as alleged against you in indictment number 23-F-343K? Are you guilty or not guilty of such offense?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Natalie Cochran is currently serving 11 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to charges related to a Ponzi scheme. 1 year before she was charged with the scheme charges, her husband died unexpectedly. She was initially arraigned but was not found guilty. Prosecuting attorney Ben Hatfield decided he would drop the case, but only if Michael's body could be examined for a second time. Upon a second viewing by a forensic pathologist from Texas, it was determined that Michael's death was a homicide due to the unprescribed extreme amount of insulin in his body, despite not being a diabetic. Cochran was then re-indicted with first-degree murder charges. And today, Cochran appeared before Judge H.L. Kirkpatrick and pled not guilty. Prosecuting attorney Ben Hatfield said that he is ready to take the case to trial.
I believe the state is ready. I believe that Michael Cochran's family is ready, and I believe it gives plenty enough time for the defense to prepare for a fair trial. So I want that August the 12th date to happen, and the state is going to do everything to put in place safeguards and to meet deadlines so that at least on our part it happens as it's scheduled.
Due to Natalie's not guilty plea, she will now have to go to trial. Her defense attorneys say that she would like to do as many pre-trial dates by video, but the final pre-trial and the trial itself she will be attending in person.
She's decided that it would be more convenient for her to be by Polycom. The state completely can accommodate that. State troopers, both one male and must be one female, travel up. Like for instance, last night they traveled up, spent the night. They transported her down here this morning and will transport her back today. The situation will be a bit different when it comes time for the August trial date because the trial lasts over several days consecutively.
The big thing to pull from this arraignment is that Natalie's defense team wants to examine Michael Cochran's body for the third time. The first time he was examined was when he passed away, and then the second time was at prosecutor Ben Hatfield's request.
We are going to have an expert, hopefully, to exhume the body and conduct his analysis.
I believe that would be a futile effort. Now, whether or not the judge would grant it, I would have to defer to him. I would oppose it just based on what probative value that could potentially yield.
A major part of the arraignment was the hammering out of deadlines. Hatfield saying that he wants to make sure that both sides have firm deadlines for discovery.
So that going into the July pretrial conference and the August 12th trial, we'll each know what the trial is about. That's what the discovery process is for.
Hatfield says that he is not worried about seating a jury, no matter what needs to be done to find members who are not biased about the case already. And ultimately, he believes whatever verdict the jury comes to is the right one. Desired outcome of the trial.
Obviously, one would expect me to say I want a guilty verdict. I want justice, and I want the truth to come out, whatever those are. I'm a truth seeker, not a conviction seeker. So I want the absolute truth about what happened to Michael Brandon Cochran to come out. And whatever that is, whatever the jury decides that is, that will be the right decision. I've heard attorneys before say, the jury got it wrong. Let me tell you, in this system we have, and I believe it is the best system in the world, the jury never gets it wrong. If I don't get a conviction or if a prosecutor doesn't get a conviction, they put on a subpar case or they've done a subpar job.
During Natalie's arraignment, her defense attorneys argued that they needed more time to gather more evidence. The judge then said that they had until June 3rd to gather all that they needed. The trial date has been set for August 12, 2024. NewsWatch will be there to provide you with everything you need to know every step of the way. Now let's send it over to Chad for your first forecast, and I will rejoin you guys back in studio for more news. Chad?